It's just the beginning. I mean, it does. I said the mutants were coming, and it all starts with this movie, and I can't wait for the show to start today, and people will see what this one has in store and know that this is the beginning of mutants finally arriving.
It looks like the X-Men's future in the MCU just got a bit complicated, but the movie is definitely still happening. There's even a chance RDJ might pop in for a cameo. We could see Deadpool, X-23, and Wolverine leading the MCU's X-Men team. After that heartwarming family dinner scene in the last bit of Deadpool and Wolverine, it's pretty clear we're getting an MCU X-Men movie. So, let's break down everything you need to know about this upcoming X-Men film in the MCU. Kevin Feige recently talked to IO9 about which characters might show up in the MCU's X-Men movie and how it could tie into X-Men 97. Feige mentioned that, much like they did with Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies, Marvel plans to include a mix of familiar faces and new characters in the MCU's X-Men films. He's particularly excited about bringing the soap opera elements from the Emmy-nominated X-Men 97 animated series into the MCU. Here's what Feige said. At Marvel, we often say, it's an embarrassment of riches. There are so many great X-Men characters in the Deadpool and Wolverine film, in the Fox X-Men films, and even more that haven't made it to the big screen yet. So, just like we did with Spider-Man, you'll likely see a blend of characters you know and ones you've never seen before. The success of X-Men 97 was really exciting for us. People are revisiting and reconnecting with that world, and those soap opera elements are something we're thrilled to bring into the MCU. Marvel's X-Men movie needs to include a key mutant after their big moment in 2024, and surprisingly, it's not Deadpool or Wolverine. Although Deadpool and Wolverine ended with those two characters alive and kicking in the Fox X-Men universe, many expect the MCU's X-Men to feature a fresh lineup. The movie itself hasn't had many updates, beyond the involvement of screenwriter Michael Leslie, but it would be a mistake not to bring in versions of these characters from Earth 616. With so much speculation about which mutants will make up the MCU's X-Men roster, all eyes are on potential candidates. Interestingly, the Marvel cameos in Deadpool and Wolverine hint at some possible members. A popular theory suggests that X-23 could be introduced as the MCU's main Wolverine to distinguish it from the Fox timeline. But when it comes to the rest of the team, Deadpool and Wolverine and another 2024 project point to one crucial mutant, Remy LeBeau, aka Gambit. Gambit made waves in 2024 with two significant appearances. First, in X-Men 97, a show hailed as one of Marvel's best, Gambit's sacrifice in the episode Remember It became a standout moment, resonating deeply with fans. This episode is the highest rated on several review sites, including IMDb, proving Gambit's impact on the series. The second appearance was Channing Tatum's Gambit cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine. After years in development limbo, Tatum finally brought Gambit to life with a performance that was equal parts hilarious, silly, and badass. The action scenes were a treat, even though Gambit wasn't the story's main focus. These two appearances highlight why Gambit should be a central figure in the MCU's X-Men movie. X-Men 97 showcased the character's emotional depth, while Deadpool and Wolverine leaned into his action hero side. Including Gambit would help set the MCU's X-Men apart from the Fox films, offering a new live-action take on a character who deserves his time in the spotlight. Plus, it would be exciting to see Gambit interact with a fresh roster of X-Men in the MCU. That said, Deadpool and Wolverine didn't exactly clarify the X-Men's future in the MCU. Instead of destroying the Fox universe Earth 1005, the heroes save it and go back to their own world. Deadpool and Wolverine don't end up in the MCU, which makes it look like the Fox universe might still have more stories to tell, especially with a new Wolverine variant potentially undoing the events of Logan. After the movie, things are still pretty up in the air. We don't know if Hugh Jackman is coming back for more films, like Avengers, Secret Wars, though there are rumors. Deadpool is back in his own universe, hanging out with his usual crew, so it's unclear if he'll be in future MCU films. It feels like Marvel is keeping their options open, not fully deciding what to do with these characters just yet. The mid-credits scene in Deadpool and Wolverine gave a heartfelt goodbye to the Fox X-Men universe, featuring a montage of scenes from Fox's Marvel movies, including Fantastic Four and Daredevil, set to Green Day's Good Riddance, Time of Your Life. It was a nostalgic nod to all the highs and lows Fox brought to superhero cinema. But while it felt like a final farewell, the movie's plot didn't exactly close the door on that universe, leaving things a bit confusing. So, what's the plan for the X-Men in the MCU? Honestly, Marvel hasn't given us much to go on. It seems like they're hesitant to commit either way. By sending the characters back to their own universe, they've left the MCU pretty much where it started. This is puzzling, especially since Kevin Feige rated the movie an 8/10 in terms of importance to the MCU, but we'll have to wait and see what those ramifications actually are. With no Deadpool 4 confirmed, the future of these characters is still up in the air. It's likely the Fox universe was left intact so characters can return in Avengers: Secret Wars. While we don't have full details on who will return, the comics in this film are based on pulling heroes from across the Marvel multiverse, so the movie might do the same. Rumors suggest we could see Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man again. Things got even more complicated with the Marvels, which featured a post-credits cameo by Kelsey Grammer as Beast from X-Men: The Last Stand. Monica Rambeau wakes up at the X-Men mansion, but it's not clear which universe she's in. Earth 1005 or another one entirely. There's been speculation that Marvel was building toward an Avengers vs. X-Men film, but with the announcement of Avengers Doomsday, that doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon. It looks like Marvel is trying to launch mutants in their own universe, while also picking and choosing elements from the Fox X-Men movies, which is causing some confusion about where things are headed. Hopefully, Marvel has a solid long-term plan for all this, but with recent shakeups, like Robert Downey Jr. reportedly joining as Doctor Doom, it's hard to say for sure. The X-Men's place in the MCU is still a big question mark, and Deadpool and Wolverine have only added to the confusion. Fans are definitely ready for some answers about where the X-Men fit in the MCU. As we know, several X-Men related characters are already making their mark in the MCU ahead of the team's solo movie. We've seen Professor X, Beast, Namor, and Ms. Marvel pop up, and there are even more X-Men who could be part of the MCU if the films stick close to the comics. For instance, El Aguila and Mr. Immortal had cameos in She-Hulk, so they could also show up in the MCU X-Men movie. Now, there's a fan cast that's really picking up steam and has about an 85% chance of becoming a reality in the MCU's X-Men movie. The buzz is that this character will come from another timeline into the main MCU universe, Earth 616. And that 85% chance of becoming a reality in the MCU's X-Men movie character, it's Daniel Radcliffe. He's the top fan choice to take on the role of Wolverine, and it's pretty clear why. Radcliffe's years as Harry Potter have given him the experience of leading a massive franchise, making him a strong contender for one of the MCU's most important characters. Hugh Jackman's portrayal of Logan set a high bar, especially with his iconic role in Deadpool and Wolverine. So, whoever takes over as Wolverine needs to make a huge impact from the get-go. Radcliffe's already got a massive fan base, which would help ease the transition. Plus, he's got the right physicality, the perfect height for Logan, and the acting skills to deliver a performance that's as intense, nuanced, and electrifying as Wolverine demands. And don't even think for a second that fan casting is too far-fetched. After all, we've already seen Henry Cavill play Wolverine in Deadpool and Wolverine, so at this point, anything's possible. We might even see Emma Watson take on the role of Scarlet Witch in an MCU solo Wanda Maximoff movie. If you want to know more about that, check out our video on the solo Wanda Maximoff movie in the MCU, and that's a wrap for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Don't forget, your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.